So in this video, we're going to continue topic 6.6, which was factoring polynomials, and we're going to look at factoring by grouping again. As I was doing those last couple examples, and I started to do this one, they're terrible. So we're going to do ones that are a little bit more realistic and probably what you'll see on the assignment. So we're going to add in 2 examples here, so you're going to need to write these down. These are going to be a little bit more helpful in what you're going to see on the assignment. So again, I'm going to use the same technique I used in the last one. I have the blue group and the green group. Okay, so I'm going to look in the blue group and I'm going to figure out what's my greatest common factor in the blue group, which is an x squared. So I'm going to pull that out. And remember, when I divide out like that, I'm dividing. So x squared divided into x cubed would mean it would be x. X squared divided into 3x squared would be 3. Then I'm looking at the green group and I'm looking for the greatest common factor. If I notice a lead negative, I am going to pull out that negative. So I'm going to pull out a -2 as my greatest common factor. When I divide -2 into -2x, I get x. When I divide -2 into -6, I get +3. And you'll notice that we got our goal. We got our ugly greatest common factor here. When I have that ugly greatest common factor, I get to factor it out. I get to write it down 1 time. Okay. Then I'm going to write down everything else that's left behind. So I have x squared minus 2 left behind. So let's try this again in this example 8. So you might want to pause the video and write example 8 down. So we're going to have the blue group and the green group. And so in that blue group, I'm looking for the greatest common factor. And this time it looks like it is 3x squared. And when I divide that out, 3x squared divided by 3x cubed, I'd be left with an x. 3x squared divided by -6x, I would be left with -2. And then in the green group, again, I'm leading with a negative, so I'm going to pull the negative out, even though there's not a negative in the other term. So I'm going to have -4, I'm pulling out, and -4 divided by -4x divided by -4 would be x. 8 divided by -4 would be -2. And do you see how it was kind of like magic, right? The greatest common factor, the ugly greatest common factor, ended up being the same. So I'm going to pull that out. Remember, when we pull it out, we only are allowed to write it down 1 time. And then we're left behind with 3x squared minus 4.